Randy Orton in his prime was pure evil.
Pure
Prior
chaos,
to this,
nigga.
Orton was already the legend killer.
Pure
He
villain.
was kicking legends in the skull, putting them into hospitals, and he'd already feuded against the likes of Mick Foley, Hulk Hogan, and The Undertaker.
And The Undertaker.
But after the split of Rated RKO, after Edge went to SmackDown and Orton was on his own again,
This nigga Randy Orton almost fucking OD'd, bruh. This nigga almost overdosed, gang. On sleeping pills. I'm like, with the pillovers, I'm like, Randy Orton. When I heard that, I recently heard that. I didn't even know that happened. I'm like, what? We almost lost the, bro. That was before 09 too. I'm like, no way, gang.
this man turned into the biggest villain on Edge went to SmackDown and Orton
Bro, he
was
got
on
out of
his
that
own
match
again.
and
This
he
man
said,
turned
fuck
into
the
the
ref.
biggest villain on Monday Night Raw.
He's such a
He made John
bastard.
Cena's life miserable.
Kicking
He
Justin
destroyed
dead
the
in the head.
McMahons, and nobody was safe from
Give
the
me
wrath
that!
of the Viper. So, how dominant was Randy Orton during his prime? How does his championship reign compare to other legends like John Cena, Triple H, and Edge? What made his transition into the Viper so iconic? Let's take a trip down memory lane and
Man,
revisit
Randy
the
Orton's
prime of
too
one of the
damn
biggest
good.
villains
Justin
in
getting his ass
WWE.
trees.
Let's take a trip down memory lane and
He's
revisit
getting his
the
ass-
prime of
Look,
one
look,
of the
he's
biggest
getting his ass
villains in
pummeled.
WWE history. Orton's evolution into WWE's most cold-blooded predator began with his pursuit of John Cena's WWE Championship in the summer of 2007. What
Belt
started
flag out of
with
John
his
Cena's on
pursuit
that
of
big
John Cena's
RKO.
WWE
Turn the fuck
Championship in
around.
the summer of
Brrr.
2007. What started as a standard championship storyline quickly evolved into something far more disturbing. Orton was named the #1 contender for Cena's WWE title, and his strategy was simple. Attack the champion at every opportunity you get and soften Cena up for their match at SummerSlam.
Of course, hell yeah.
But SummerSlam didn't go according to plan.
John Cena
Despite
still
his
won.
evil tactics, Orton lost the title match when Cena hit the FU for
Yeah,
the victory.
FU right on his
A
ass.
lesser performer might have accepted defeat and
Hell
moved
no.
on, but Orton wasn't a lesser performer.
That's Randy Orton we're talking about. He said the feud
The
continues.
next night on Raw, when William Regal denied his rematch request, Orton appealed directly to Vince McMahon. The chairman agreed to grant Orton his rematch, but on one condition. Orton had to prove that he wanted the title shot bad enough. Randy accepted the challenge, and what happened next established Orton as WWE's most ruthless antagonist.
No cap.
During Cena's match with King Booker, Orton interfered and crossed a line that shouldn't be crossed.
Fuck that boy,
After
Justin, that up.
assaulting Cena, he turned his attention
Get
to
your ass
Cena's
over that
dad,
damn
who was
barricade.
sitting at ringside supporting his son.
Funnel punk kicked the
Orton
shit
attacked
out of
Cena's
him.
father, kicked him in the head, and proved that he was willing
And
to
he
go
walks
to any
away.
lengths to become WWE
RKO on the
champion.
chair.
This act of cruelty earned Orton his rematch at Unforgiven, but Super Cena got his lick back and walked out
Super
with the
Cena.
title. But more importantly, during his feud with Cena, something started to change inside Randy. The pretty
You
boy
can, bro,
from Evolution.
you can leave see that.
During
You can
his
leave
feud
see it
with
change in the nigga face.
Cena,
Look.
something started to change inside
Look,
Randy.
look.
The pretty boy from Evolution was gone. The legend killer was starting to transform, and he was replaced by a calculating predator who would. The legend killer was starting
This nigga Randy Orton always slithering around the fucking ring.
transform.
Look at him. Look
He
at him.
was replaced-
Look. Look at him.
by a calculating predator who would do whatever it took to achieve his goal. When he adopted the Viper nickname after introducing it in the October 1st episode of Raw,
You think
it felt
Justin-
like the
I mean,
perfect
nigga Randy
evolution
Orton
of his
clown, bro.
character. Orton's arcade
Bro.
first episode of Raw, it felt like the perfect
Get your ass
evolution of
over
his character. Orton's RKO
Get
on
the
the
fuck
announce
over here
table
again.
put Cena on the shelf and forced him to vacate the WWE Championship.
Yay.
Orton had achieved his goal of becoming the top
got
star
that
on
title.
Raw through patience and calculated violence.
No cap.
Vince McMahon awarded Orton the championship at No Mercy, but Triple H decided to ruin the party. The game would defeat Orton in the opening contest of the night to
Triple
win the
H-
title.
Randy
but
Orton got
would
right.
get the
Randy
last
Orton got
laugh
back.
and walk out as the new face of WWE as No Mercy went off air.
Randy
By
Orton got
October
back. Like,
2007,
come on.
Randy had successfully transformed from the legend killer into WWE's most dangerous champion. The stage was set for
Boom,
a reign
punk
of
kick that
terror
boy
that
Dusty
would
Rhodes and
define
his
the
shit.
next 2 years of his
Shane
career.
Man guys that pump kick too. Put his
Orton's championship reign wasn't just about defending the title. It was about systematically breaking down
Now I
every
can't
challenger
chair,
who
bro.
dared step into his path. Shawn Michaels was his first major test. When HBK returned to Super
Brrr.
Kick Orton during his championship coronation, it reignited the test.
sold it like that.
When HBK returned to Super
Bitch!
Kick Orton during his championship coronation, it reignited their rivalry from earlier in the year. At Cyber Sunday, Orton low-blowed Michaels and intentionally got himself disqualified to retain the title. Orton low-blowed Michaels and intentionally got
Bro, they really
himself
just
disqualified
using-
to retain the title.
We don't care about. He was regaining the title. He didn't even care about losing.
With the
He was just
stipulation
keeping the
that
title.
Michaels would lose his title shot forever if he used the super kick, while Orton would lose the championship if he got disqualified. Towards the end, Orton managed to one-up the veteran Michaels and steal the win after a vicious RKO.
Fat
Orton's
RKO.
next challenge came in the form of the returning
Chris
Chris
Jericho.
Their brief feud ended at Armageddon, with
This guy
JBL's
stopped wearing
interference
shorts.
helping Orton retain the
I'm not
title.
glad, bro. If Kendrick just kept on wearing those shorts, guy, he ain't fitting no more, bro. It's time for a new look.
Via disqualification.
Them fucking.
Orton's next challenger was none other
don't know
than
what
Jeff
it's
Hardy,
called.
and this is when the Viper started reaching new levels of cruelty.
Mm-hmm.
When Orton punted Matt Hardy in
Right in
the head,
his fucking
it was
head.
a clear statement that nobody was safe from Orton's wrath.
Look, his
Jeff
hair started to
retaliated by
change.
performing a swanton bomb
Right
from
off
30
the top.
feet high,
Mhm.
which created one of the most memorable moments in Raw history.
In wrestling
defeated Hardy
history.
at the Royal Rumble to retain the title.
Justin
but a
came back.
familiar foe returned to
Yeah,
spoil the party.
yeah.
Playing on iPhone?
That boy Justin said
now
it.
you can play
I'm
unlocked
here.
with Google Play Games on PC.
I'm here.
John Cena's return from injury at the
One of my
2008
favorite
Royal
returns.
Rumble created Orton's greatest challenge yet. Cena won the Rumble and demanded his title shot
Got
immediately,
to.
rather
You know
than
he
waiting
wanted
for
to.
WrestleMania.
You know he did.
At No Way Out, Orton slapped the ref and got himself intentionally disqualified to retain the title and stay on the top of
Oh
WWE's
man,
food chain.
bro.
The triple threat match at WrestleMania 24 was Orton's masterpiece.
Hell
Facing
yeah.
both Cena and Triple H, he cemented his legacy by defeating two of the biggest names in WWE history on the grandest
Oh, he
stage
did.
of
Oh,
them
Randy
all.
Orton didn't win.
Orton eventually
And he
lost
lost,
the title
yeah.
to Triple H at Backlash in a fatal four-way elimination match and failed to regain the gold at Judgment Day and One Night Stand. The collarbone injury during the Last Man Standing match against Triple H at One
This
Night
fucking
Stand was
injury,
a cruel
bro.
twist of fate. Orton had been building momentum toward it.
This injury right here. He was gone, right? Randy Orton gone. This the time I was talking about when you about this the time you almost fucking died.
Another championship reign when Triple H's counter to the RKO sent him over the top rope with severe consequences. The injury forced him out of action just as the Viper was reaching his peak. But this turned out to be a blessing in disguise because what followed next would cement Orton as a legit enemy to society.
I love that RKO.
Because what followed next would cement Orton as a legit
Duh!
enemy to society.
Yes! But I don't understand that RKO is wonderful when he did that. Bro, like, bro, I'm just getting flashbacks to the Authority, bro. Vicious RKO, bro. It looks amazing.
Disguise.
One more time.
Because what followed next
Look at
would
that
cement Orton
shit.
as a legit
Ah!
menace to society.
Nice. That's good set by
Because
Stephanie
what
Man, too.
followed next would
Nice,
cement
good
Orton
looking
as a
RKO.
legit
Sit your ass
menace
down.
to society.
Love that. And you got Shane Man getting put on a stretcher and shit. Here, come get the daughter too.
Orton's return from
Come get the
injury in
sister.
September of 2008
Oh,
revealed a more
man, that was
calculating and more dangerous version of the Viper. Orton came back with a new theme song and formed The Legacy.
Yeah,
Their first
Legacy.
victim was none other than CM Punk. At Unforgiven, Orton attacked Punk backstage and
Punk
forced
kicked-
the World Heavyweight Champion to
Kofi.
vacate his title. But Orton's true masterpiece was his systematic destruction of the McMahon family.
Yup.
The January 19th episode of Raw, when Orton confronted
Came
Vince
down
and
to-
Stephanie,
yeah.
would mark the beginning of one of the most personal feuds in WWE history. When he claimed Stephanie was worthless and punted Vince in
Boom!
the head, Orton had crossed into unprecedented territory.
Look at him.
To
And
add
he just started.
insult to injury,
But he started at the shock too, like. It's such a clown. Bro, 09 Randy Orton, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. Amazing. Peak wrestling entertainment, my nigga. And then you got this nigga, and he sees Triple H coming down the ramp. This nigga started running out the ring, bro. This man, Randy Orton's a fucking joke, my nigga.
Orton went on
Get
to
the
win
fuck
the Royal
out.
Rumble and earn a shot at the WWE title at WrestleMania.
Which he
to
won.
avenge her father, Stephanie brought back her brother Shane. But even the returning prodigal son was no match for the
Come
ruthlessness
on, bro.
of the Viper.
Come on.
Orton not
Shane
only
said
punched
no
Shane in
fucking
the skull,
chance. Get
but
your
he
ass
also
out of
laid
here.
out
This is
Stephanie
your
with
dumb
an
ass
RKO
down.
in the middle of the
Fuck
ring.
you, me.
Punted Shane in the skull, but he
Putting that
also
boy
laid
standing
out
on the
Stephanie
stretcher here.
with an
Come
RKO
get the
in the
sister
middle
too.
of the ring.
She's down for the
attack on
count.
Stephanie wasn't just
Fuck
a
you, mean.
statement; it was an attack on
Right
the
there, look.
personal life of his former mentor, Triple H. Orton revealed that his attack
Laugh.
on the McMahons
Look at that 14-time champion Triple H shaking, trembling with anger.
planned revenge
Oh
life
man,
of
that's
his
great.
ring. He
And
punted Shane in the
punt.
skull, but he also
Here,
laid out
sit
Stephanie
your ass
with an
down.
RKO in the middle of the ring.
Look at
The
Triple H.
attack
Look.
on
See, I
Stephanie
told you.
wasn't
Look.
just a statement.
Look at
It
Triple
was an
H.
attack on the personal life of his former mentor, Triple H. Orton revealed that his attack on the
That's
McMahons
great.
was planned revenge against Triple H
Hell
for
yeah.
kicking him out of Evolution 5 years ago.
Damn right,
But
nigga.
just when everyone thought Orton couldn't stoop any lower, he handcuffed Triple H to the rope and forced him to watch as he kissed
Stephanie.
his own wife in front of him.
Kiss
Lower,
fucking
he handcuffed
Stephanie, my
Triple
nigga.
H to the rope and forced him to watch as he
Look.
kissed his own wife in front of him. The segment generated massive buzz and set
Bro,
the
that
stage
was
forced him to watch as he
insane.
kissed his own wife in front of him. The segment generated massive buzz and set the stage for their WWE
Cause that
title
was-
match at WrestleMania. Orton's loss to Triple H at WrestleMania could have ended
lost?
his championship aspirations.
I don't. This, bro, this WrestleMania when all the John Cena's came out doing this, my nigga. How the fuck I don't remember him losing? I think Justin fought JBL. No, he didn't fight JBL in this one. But I know all Justin came out and was doing this, bro. I think he fought Edge and JBL in a triple threat match in this WrestleMania. I might be bugging.
But the Vipers'
I didn't know
comeback
he
proved
lost.
that setbacks
I forgot
only
he
made him
lost.
more dangerous. His third WWE Championship win at Backlash came when he kicked Triple
Boom.
H in the skull and pinned him in the six-man tag team match, while Legacy provided the numbers advantage he needed. The championship reign that followed showcased Orton
Bald
as
head.
the most calculating. His title defense against Batista at Judgment Day ended in disqualification. Losing the title to Batista in the steel cage at Extreme Rules was a temporary
Both
setback
bald head,
that
but Randy
Orton
Orton's a
quickly
different bald
turned
head.
into an advantage.
Broke
The
that boy-
attack on
yep,
Batista
mhm.
was
Broke
a
that boy
temporary
Batista arm.
setback that Orton quickly turned into an advantage.
Broke
The
that boy.
attack
Bro,
on
Batista
Extreme
always
Rules
spits, bro. But he always have a big ass spit just flying out his mouth every time he talks.
was a temporary setback that Orton quickly turned into an advantage. The attack on Batista
Broke
the
that arm.
following night that forced him to vacate the championship due to arm injury showed the Vipers' opportunistic nature at its peak.
Train to become a mechanic at Universal Technical Institute, where you can prep for an in-demand career.
When opponents couldn't be beaten cleanly,
Ham!
they could be eliminated through systematic violence. Orton regained the championship in a fatal four-way match against Big Show, Triple H, and John Cena as multi-man matches favored his
Get
opportunistic
the fuck
style,
off.
allowing him to strike out of
Fuck
nowhere
down.
when opponents were distracted. Orton wrapped up his feud with Triple H by defeating him at the Bash in a 3 stages of hell match before moving on. Orton wrapped up his feud with Triple H by defeating him at the Bash
Nigga, he's behind you steading, bruh. Look. I should have scared the shit out of you. I ain't gonna lie.
in a 3 stages of hell match before moving on to his biggest challenge. Orton reignited his feud with Cena
John
in
Cena,
the summer of
one
2009,
of the greatest
and this
feuds,
gave us
bruh.
some of the most memorable matches
Hell
of the PG
yeah.
era.
Hell
the SummerSlam
yeah.
match against Cena showcased the underhanded tactics that made Orton so effective as champion. Eye rakes, rope leverage, and breaking every rule in the book meant Cena's superior strength meant nothing.
Meant
Orton
nothing
refused
against
to
that boy
fight
Randy
fair.
Orton.
Cena got
Not
another
fighting
shot
fair.
at breaking point in
Love
an
that.
I Quit match, but Orton showed how
Just
vicious
that
he could be
fucking
in
shit.
hardcore situations. Orton handcuffed Cena to the ring post and
Started
tortured him
whooping
with a
his
kendo
ass.
stick before Cena broke free and forced Orton to quit and win
Bro.
the title. Orton bounced back next month at Hell in a Cell and recaptured the title. The final Iron Man match at Bragging Rights was the perfect ending
Yeah, I was
to
about to say,
their
Cena won that
rivalry.
one too.
Orton tried every tactic in the book and almost blew Cena up with pyro, but eventually fell short to Super Cena's plot armor. By the end of 2009, Orton had proven himself as WWE's
Plot
apex
armor, hell
predator.
yeah. Too much plot
Shortly
armor.
after, Orton would turn face, defeat Legacy at WrestleMania, and even go on to win the WWE title as a babyface in mid-2010.
Hell
After
yeah.
2010, Orton would go on to have more championship reigns
Bro,
and
man,
memorable feuds.
14-time
But from
champ.
2007 to 2009,
No, I'm tripping.
Orton was on a whole different level.
Where is it? 12.
Today, Randy Orton is
No,
a respected
14.
veteran and
No,
future
12.
Hall of Famer. He is a 14-time world
14.
champion.
I know I was
One-
tripping, but I'm like, am I bugging? I'm like, God, I know I'm bugging, and I'm like, is Randy? I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's tied with Triple H. I thought I was tripping. I'm like, this nigga got 14, right? I know I'm bugging.
one of the most accomplished wrestlers of his generation and
Hell
a
yeah.
master of in-ring psychology.
Hell yeah.
But his incredible 2-year run from 2007 to 2009